when does care become hurtful? So, Jason, you mentioned something previously about compassion fatigue, and I'm familiar with compassion fatigue. What happens when those people that give and give and give and give, and they give till they can give no more? What does that look like? Have you seen that in pastors and ministry? Have you seen compassion fatigue? And then I can share my own stuff.
Well, definitely. I think it's an epidemic, and I shouldn't say that. It's very common to see in doctors, social, anybody who has to be in field, nurses, healthcare, ministries, all that. It's a topic that's pretty comes up a lot. It's pretty relevant. Anything that you're giving out of yourself for the good to care for another person and when they are in need. So I just think it's important to remember, you know what's crazy? Jesus, I don't know if we've talked about this or not, but Jesus didn't meet every need. Mm-hmm. He didn't meet every single need when he was here.
Wow, go on.
Well, it's kind of weird to say, but in the Gospels, there's moments like Luke 4 where, there's a line of people to be healed, and he ends up the next day leaving, and I think we've talked about that. He leaves some of them behind. He didn't meet, and he says, I must go on to the next town, but he goes to rest. So you've got Jesus. I think if anybody would have gotten compassion fatigue, it would have been him, because how much he was pouring out for people. And yet he finds this breathe in, breathe out sort of rhythm. He's giving. He's distancing himself from all the needs to refuel, and he's giving, distancing himself.
Okay.
So
what happens if you don't? What happens if you don't listen to that cadence? What happens if you give and give and give and give? What's the ramifications that you've seen?
You become, I think, a really cynical, bitter person.
Absolutely.
Or
I think you feel paralyzed then that you can't.
You'll
never give up because you'll never possibly solve all the problems or meet all the needs.
Or so you either become frozen. So when we become too compassionate, when we give and give and give and give and don't take care of self, this happened to me like a year ago. This happened to me where I went through a season where I was giving, and no Mother Teresa here. I'm not. I had plenty of downtime, so I don't want to try to make myself out to be a martyr here. But I gave emotionally for a very extended period of time, and I did very poor job of care calibration. So I gave care every chance I could. I got to a point where all of a sudden there was this sense of jadedness that I was very unfamiliar with. The things that broke my heart stopped breaking. And there was this overwhelming feeling of, like Jason, you said, cynicism and bitterness, where I was like, mm-hmm. All of a sudden I went from caring for everyone to suddenly, I don't want to care for anyone. And it was an ucky feeling. And when I started to feel like that, which was weird, it was very not me. I came to leadership, and I came to the church, and I was like, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. And I talked to a therapist actually about it, and it turns out that's when I found out about compassion fatigue. So I can attest from personal experience, you will burn. You're going to burn. You're going to burn out. It's going to happen. It totally happened to me. It took a long time for that tank to fill, and it did fill back up. It does fill back up, but it takes time, and it takes recognizing also the simple truth that I'm not the hero.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the hero. Jesus is the hero. I don't need to save every person. I don't need to help every emotional broken thing. I don't have to care for every broken relationship. I can't, because I'm human. And sometimes I need to put the mask on myself before I put the mask on someone else.